I'm pleased to be joined by Thoma from Aireon. Hello, Don.
Hey, Russell. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. How are you finding the show?
Oh, it's phenomenal. This is, I think, the first time since pre-pandemic that we're really getting the entire industry together in a very, very positive mode. People are past the pandemic. They've gotten their own houses in order now, and are really looking to what's new in the industry and how they can improve their operations. So it's just a great environment to have discussions with our partners and with our customers.
And can you tell us a little bit about Aireon and the work that you do?
Sure. Well, Aireon was a joint venture that was put in place by several people, including NATS, NAV Canada, Iridium Satellite, the Irish Aviation Authority, Naviair of Denmark, and ENAV of Italy. So truly a international venture to launch a satellite-based system for monitoring global air traffic wherever it is in the world with an ADS-B transponder on board. So as the industry has moved to the next generation of surveillance, automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, we've been able to now implement a global system on satellites to track any airplane anywhere in the world, roughly 13,000 aircraft in the air at any given time. It's truly, truly amazing.
It is incredible. And how does that space-based technology benefit the broader aviation industry then? What does that look like?
Well, you may remember back in 2019, the first two ANSPs to begin using satellite-based ADS-B were NATS and NAV Canada. In March of 2019, for the first time ever, the North Atlantic had real-time surveillance. Controllers in Shanwick and Prestwick, and for the Shanwick FIR and NAV Canada for the Gander FIR, we're looking at the aircraft in real time. And what that's enabled them to do is fundamentally change the way operations are on the North Atlantic, and we're so proud to be part of that. Obviously, where the rubber hits the road, it's the controllers at NATS and NAV Canada that are making that happen in cooperation with the airlines and the dispatchers.
So the ability of the controller now to be able to see the aircraft in real time, does that bring a safety benefit?
It brings multiple benefits, right? I mean, safety is obviously in our industry first and foremost. So just listening to presentations by the NATS team on the improvements in safety and the ability to achieve and exceed the safety metrics for the North Atlantic for the first time, now that they have the tool of real-time surveillance, very, very important. But it's also allowed the controllers to work with the airlines to give them more preferential routing, their preferred entry point into the North Atlantic tracks, the ability to climb more, the ability to move at the optimal speed. It certainly has enabled them to save fuel in their transits across the North Atlantic. And then, of course, your green ATM, the carbon emission savings just by saving fuel is a win-win for everybody. A win for the airlines, a win for the environment, a win for the traveling public.
So really hitting some of the big challenges of the aviation sector then, so ensuring safety, but also looking to the sustainability challenges as well.
It really is at the nexus of providing what is an essential part of the aviation infrastructure, certainly in the oceanic and remote airspace environments.
And what's next for a company like Aireon? What are you looking to do?
Well, one of the areas that we always knew would be important is the fact that when you collect a global data set of all aircraft movements around the world, and you get kind of the expertise and the partnership of other organizations in the industry, whether it's an ANSP, a regulator, or a commercial partner, you can now look at how do you mine that data, how do you analyze that data in ways that, again, can affect all the things that we just talked about. Right? We have an initiative now in partnership with CANSO to look at how to use a global data set to look at safety metrics that are common across many different ANSPs and use that as a tool. ANSPs can look to improve their overall safety performance. We've got relationships with companies like Boeing, to look at and use our ADS-B data, again, to analyze the various aircraft fleets and see if they can spot trends or areas where they need to address, whether it's in training or procedures or design. It's just very, very amazing to see how everyone has a different view of this data set and can create ways to create value out of that data.
So you're really at the cutting edge of aviation.
It's fun. It's at a very critical piece of it. I mean, data is the future of all industries. Aviation industry is a data-rich environment, a data-rich industry. So we're just happy to be a critical part, of that data set, and the tools that we're building are, I think, are going to enable even rich, a more collaborative way to analyze that data, and more importantly, turn it into applications that will support, creating value for all of our customers and actually all of the aviation, stakeholder chain.
And talking of aviation stakeholders, what are you excited about here at the show?
Interestingly, there is a lot of discussions going around on that topic I just talked about, on how to effectively use data and data analytics to get new insights into operations, into safety, into performance, into the economics of the aviation industry. And I think if you talk to everybody, around the show, you'll hear that same theme. How do we get smarter by using the data that we have, combining it with other data sets, and trying to draw out useful insights?
What sort of insights are we talking about there, Tom?
It could be anything like our partners at Eurocontrol, purchase data or subscribe to data from Aireon of all the aircraft inbound for Europe. They've seen over the year and a half they've been using the system that a 20% improvement in predictability of aircraft coming into European airspace. I mean, major part of managing the flows of traffic into one of the most congested airspaces in the world. Just recently, I'm entered into an agreement with Hong Kong for a similar area, an agreement with a SECNA, a group of 18 countries in West Africa, Madagascar, for a similar use of the service. So you can see how you take a global data set, and apply it to a given customer. They can get more use out of that data than just looking at their own airspace.
Don, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure, Russell. Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.